Hello, welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Television with the major developments of the day. I am your host, İlham Məmmədov. On September 22nd, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, İlham Əliyev, and First Lady Mehriban Aliyeva viewed the new ambulance vans delivered to the country by the state agency on mandatory health insurance.
Improving the quality of medical services in the fight against coronavirus, strengthening the material and technical infrastructure in this area, including the provision of new ambulance vans, are of particular importance. On the instructions of President İlham Əliyev, all necessary work is being done in this area. The first part of the newly ordered ambulance vans was delivered in July and the second one has just arrived.
Tez bir zamanda gəldi. Bir yardım maşınlarından qalır bəli. Bakı şəhərində. O vaxt mən göstəriş vermişdim, ancaq bu tipli maşınlar.
The level of equipment available in the ambulances allows patients the opportunity to receive all the necessary first emergency and urgent medical care in resuscitation. The vans have a number of unique features. Chair of the board of the state agency on mandatory health insurance, Zaur Aliyev, said this time they ordered the newest ambulance CAS mobile intensive care unit CAS. They brought to Azerbaijan configuration supplied with equipment. What is included in this configuration? AGC tracing devices for the control of the level of saturation, cardio monitor for measuring heart beating, infusion pump. And this is the defibrillator. There is a portable resuscitation device. It's imperative to have this in the period of a pandemic. There are also flow meters and movable stretchers used by the doctors to transport patients conveniently, stated Zaur Aliyev. Azerbaijan is one of the most effective countries in the fight against COVID-19. At present, 46 hospitals serve coronavirus patients in the country. During the pandemic, the number of laboratories was increased from 6 to 45. There are 11 modular hospitals and 2 infirmaries. The number of tests conducted in the country exceeds 1 million. The main purpose of the measures is to protect the health of Azerbaijani citizens.
President İlham Əliyev signed an executive order on the additional measures on the continuation of reconstruction of highways in Sabunchi district of Baku. According to the executive order, 8,300,000 manats are allocated to Azərbaycan Avtomobil Yolları State Agency for the reconstruction of highways in Nardaran and Zabrat settlements of Sabunchi district. On September 22nd, First Vice President Mehriban Aliyeva inaugurated new building of Children's Art School No. 3, named after Gülara Aliyeva in Bilbila settlement, Surakhani district of Baku, and newly constructed buildings of kindergarten No. 212 in Shagan settlement of Khazar district.
Children's Art School No. 3, named after Gülara Aliyeva, was established under Music Society in 1935. In 1940, it operated as Children's Music School No. 5, and from 1988 operated as Children's Art School No. 3. Since the two-story building of the school became unfit, the new building was constructed by the Heydar Aliyev Foundation. First Vice President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, President of the Heydar Aliyev Foundation, Mehriban Aliyeva, was informed that the school building had 25 classrooms, dance and painting rooms, a conference hall, a library, teacher's room, and a canteen. All the necessary conditions are established here for pupils to receive high-level music education. Here the classes are taught in groups and individually. The school currently enrolls 493 students who are taught by 110 teachers. It should be noted that this school has very famous alumni. So far, more than 35 pupils of this school became laureates of international competitions, and about 70 of them were awarded with high rankings in the national competitions.
Valideynlərə və uşaqlara və təlikçilər mənim adımdan təbriklər və böyük salamlar. Uğurlu olsun. Sağ olun.
Then First Vice President Mehriban Aliyeva took part in the inauguration of kindergarten No. 212 in the Shagan settlement. The building of the kindergarten has been in operation since 1940. Since the end of 2019 until August of 2020, the Heydar Aliyev Foundation constructed a new building for the kindergarten in the area. There are bedrooms for kids, middle, senior and preschool groups, playroom for organization of leisure time of kids and canteen. There is also conference hall and gym, green terrace for the recreation and entertainment of kids, football and basketball area. In short, there are comprehensive conditions here for the physical and intellectual development of kids.
The United Nations, its charter and the international law remain indispensable tools and central in the preservation and maintenance of international peace and security and the strengthening of international cooperation. Speaking at the high-level meeting dedicated to the 75th anniversary of the United Nations within the 75th session of the UN General Assembly on September 21st, President İlham highly appreciated the non-aligned movement's event. Experts interpreted the speech of the President on behalf of the movement as a manifestation of the respect, trust and confidence that Azerbaijan had gained in the global arena.
The United Nations, which emerged in the last year of World War II and has so far played an important role in the system of international relations, continues to be a multilateral central forum for discussing global challenges, despite some limitations. Azerbaijan also considers the organization a good platform to convey its truths to the world community. It should be noted that in 2012-2013, our country was elected a non-permanent member of the Security Council with the support of 155 states. At present, Azerbaijan is chairing the non-aligned movement with the unanimous decision of all 120 countries. The world today needs more than ever respect for international law and effective global institutions to ensure compliance with it. The role of the non-aligned movement in this regard is of utmost significance. Throughout its history, the movement has played a fundamental role in strengthening international peace and security and persistently called for strict adherence to the norms and principles of international law. The NAM attaches great importance to strengthening the role of the United Nations and stresses that efforts should be made to develop its full potential. Experts called the sixth speech of President İlham Aliyev among 182 heads of state and governments at the meeting dedicated to the 75th anniversary of the UN a manifestation of the world community's confidence in our country. First of all, speaking as the chairman of the non-aligned movement, the president of Azerbaijan said that today there are new challenges in the world that cause serious concern. Thus, armed conflicts, aggressive expansionist policies, terrorism, separatism, international organized crime and extremism which are accompanied by human rights violations, financial crises and environmental degradation continue to affect millions of people globally. Therefore, there is a need for reform in the UN. At present, the UN does not play an active role in resolving the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict caused by Armenia's military aggression. Taking advantage of this, Armenia still refuses to fulfill the terms of the 4 resolutions adopted by the Security Council in 1993. The Prime Minister of Armenia deliberately undermines the format and substance of the negotiation process under the mediation of the OSCE Minsk group co-chairs. His statement that Karabakh is Armenia is a serious blow to negotiations. He puts groundless conditions into the negotiation process. His unacceptable so-called 7 conditions to Azerbaijan have been rejected by us. We have only one condition to achieve peace. The armed forces of Armenia must withdraw from all occupied territories of Azerbaijan. The entire world recognizes Nagorno-Karabakh as an integral part of Azerbaijan. Armenia, which occupied 20% of Azerbaijan's territory, is making new claims today and intends to seize new lands. However, it was the aggressor who carried out ethnic cleansing of the civilian population in the occupied territories over the past year. More than 1 million people became refugees and internally displaced persons. Khojaly genocide was committed. Illegal settlement policy was implemented. Historical and religious monuments were destroyed. Of course, a state in a state of internal political and economic crisis cannot continue this disruptive activity by relying on its own strengths. Therefore, by abandoning the policy of double standards of the international community, it gradually increases the urgency of a strong response to the aggressor. Current processes in Armenia, the establishment of a group of civil volunteers, the statement New War for New Territories, the heroism of Nazism and the bringing of members of the Asala terrorist organization to Karabakh under the guise of a legal settlement, the policy of Azerbaijanophobia and the inculcation of hatred against the Azerbaijani people in the younger generation indicate that the occupier is preparing for war. For the last time, official Baku calls on international organizations to take a realistic approach to those issues, otherwise it will be too late. Thus, the Azerbaijani side gives its last warning to the bewildered enemy. The responsibility for the provocations on the front line will fall entirely on the military political leadership of Armenia. The Pashinyan government can only get out of the current difficult situation by respecting the decisions taken by international organizations, including the United Nations, on the conflict.
Azerbaijan is distinguished by its effective work to eliminate Islamophobia and promote Islamic values in the world, and it's quite natural to expect support from the whole Islamic world against the fact of the occupation of our country, which makes a significant contribution to ensuring Islamic solidarity and unequivocally supports Muslim countries on all platforms.
Today, Azerbaijan is an active member of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, ISESCO, as well as other organizations uniting Muslim countries. At the same time, it's a bridge between the Islamic world and Western civilizations. Official Baku supports Islamic countries with practical steps in all cases. Against that background, Azerbaijan expects more firm and unequivocal support from the Muslim worlds for the fact of occupation. The cooperation of some Islamic countries with the terrorist state, which occupies the lands of the Islamic country, destroys and insults Muslims' monuments, is unfortunate. At the same time, Muslim countries should know that Armenia has committed genocide against Muslim religious sites and cultural genocide in the occupied territories. Look at the state of our mosques. Don't people in Muslim countries know that Armenians keep animals, pigs and cows in our half-destroyed mosques? Isn't this an insult to the Muslim world? Therefore, officials of all Muslim countries should revive these images when shaking hands with an Armenian official whose hands are stained with the blood of the Azerbaijani people. I am told that the Armenian foreign minister met with some religious leader in Egypt. Did anyone tell this religious leader that these people had desecrated Muslim mosques and insulted the entire Muslim world? At the same time, Armenia continues to falsify history. It appropriates or destroys the monuments under occupation. Among these monuments, Islamic monuments and mosques are predominant. The destructive policy pursued by the occupying country is an act of vandalism not only against Azerbaijan but the entire Islamic world, Islamic values and humanity.
"98 cases of the novel coronavirus were registered in Azerbaijan. 113 people recovered and were released home. 2 citizens tested positive for the COVID-19 virus died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 39,378 with 36,949 recoveries and 578 deaths. The number of active infections is 1,851. To detect new infection cases, 1,064,475 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan so far, the task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.